All right, we're back the next morning. The man bun means business. Anytime you see that, we're getting to work. So here we are. I'm really happy with it. It's completely dry. So what I'm gonna do is take the disc sander, it's got some 150 on it, and I'm gonna sand it completely smooth. So here we go, I'm gonna sand. All right, good news. So I sanded it down. It feels awesome. Dude, there weren't that many high spots or anything. It actually feels really smooth, which is good. What I did was I pulled the tape off because I thought that I might, and I did in fact have a little bit of a ridge where the tape was. So what I'm gonna do is feather that by hand just with some sandpaper and a block, and make sure that the rails are feeling nice and round. But I'm really happy I actually didn't have to expose much glass from sanding, which means I did a good job building it up. So really got that glass to give it strength. All right, well, good news. It got really hot in here. That is not good news. The good news is that this is feathered out. It looks great, but see if I touch it, I've still got a lot of glass fibers on there. Notice I put on gloves because it's time to apply that acetone. So what we're gonna do is just decontaminate the surface, wipe it down real good with that, and then I'm going to take one thing of epoxy and I'm going to actually just paint it on really smooth and keep it nice and smooth. So that's the next step. Well, good news, just did that coat and it turned out awesome. Really good glossy and fairly, it's gonna level itself out a little bit, not a lot of bubbles, which is good. Something I find to do that works well, and I only did this one pump of each because this last coat is going on, it's not soaking into glass or anything, so it's gonna a little go a long way, is if you take a gloved finger, you know, I poured it out in stripes on here, and then I took a gloved finger and spread it, but you're not like dabbing, you're spreading, and that'll help keep bubbles out of there, which will give you a nice smooth final finish. And then of course we'll sand this one more time before paint, but I'm really happy with the way it's come out. I feel like that is gonna last a long time and look really good. I have some cool ideas about how to paint it, thanks to Silly Kate Studios on Instagram. They were like, dude, you should put your username on the board somewhere so people can check out your YouTube and your Instagram channel. So, what a good idea. Thank you for that. In my paint scheme, I will find a way to incorporate that so people from the pier, as they watch me, can go, hey, I wonder, and then maybe discover my videos. So anyway, speaking of videos, I really hope this is helpful to somebody looking to save their beloved board. So far, so good. And here's the deal. I really do respond to comments and stuff. So if you have questions about like, how did it work? Did it last? All that kind of stuff. Where did you get your supplies? Please ask me. I'm happy to help. That's really why I'm making this video. So there we go. Great news. It is dry to the touch and smooth as glass, as it should be. I don't know if you can tell from the reflection, but it's really looking good. So I'll just hit it with that final sanding in a minute. But first, real quick, I wanted to fix this little spot. There's a little spot where the glass had kind of separated, so I cut it out. Now there's just like a little notch. What I'm gonna do is mix up a nice thick batch of epoxy. So what I've got in here is a bunch of silicate that's just cut up pieces of the fiberglass, which I cut up, and then this is all powdered. This is from sanding actually, but it's just the powdered epoxy. So that's gonna make it a little thicker. What I'm gonna do is mix together just a little bit to kind of like a peanut butter consistency. That'll help it defy gravity here so that I can stick it on this rail. And what I'm gonna do is just fill in that tiny little gap and let that cure while the rest of it continues to cure, and then I'm gonna come back and sand it. So it's kind of my lunch break check-in, and then hopefully as soon as work's over, I'll get down here and get it you know, painted and ready to go. Super pleased with the way that came out. Just used a small spreader to stick it in there, and it's nice and full. It does not want to focus. There we go. Nice and full, and there's a little excess, which is fine because I'll sand it, but now there's not going to be like a divot, because there was a little bit of a divot before, like where it tucked in on the rail, and now it tracks straight to the eye, and it'll track straight to the hand, because I don't want to get stabbed by fiberglass pieces when I'm, you know, turning around and going for waves. So same here, I ended up just filling in a few little spots, which was I have a little extra, so yeah, I don't want to focus, but that is the deal. Great news, all dry, feeling good. This is like smooth as can be. It's a little rough because I need to sand it still, but I'm gonna sand it now, and then we are going to paint it, and you can see that I went crazy with the paint. I've got some cool ideas. It's been thoroughly sanded down. You can see it's looking pretty good. I could go over that one more time if I wanted to be like absolutely perfect, but you'll never notice that under the wax, it's fine. And I just wiped it all down with that acetone, so it's clean and ready for paint, so I'm gonna mask it off. All right, so I'm not gonna be surfing it today for sure, but we are making really good progress. I mean, we're basically at like maybe 24 hours from when I started, and I'm ready to do the paint. So it'll be drying tonight, and then tomorrow I will wax it up and surf it. And here's where we're at so far. We've got, I'm gonna be matching kind of this glue, and I'm gonna fade it up to this glue, and that should be pretty close to what was there, but I'm gonna go ahead and redo the entire stripes because I want it to match, and I don't want to try to color match this. I just want to have something that's similar. Looks just as good, but doesn't look patched. So that's the goal. Let's do it. Check it out, dude. So from the dark blue to the light blue, and I'm really, really happy with that shade. So it's looking good. This was an insane amount of work, but check it out. I got my YouTube. It's all like hand drawn on contact paper, which I think should work. I'm gonna cut it out with an X-Acto knife and make a stencil, which hopefully I can peel and stick. All right, check it out. Way too much time with one of these guys, but I'm really liking the way it looks. Just gonna lay it out like this, so we'll have YouTube logo over here, Instagram logo over there, and the same username at both. I think this is gonna be sick. Well, it's 2 a.m. 2 days of lots of work, but guess what? My dream board is back, and it's so pretty and amazing. Check it out. Got my little advertisement there for the people, the watchers on the TV. You can see it's looking really, really good. This is the patch that I did. This is the patch that was there. Anyway, this is a long, crazy journey. I hope this video is helpful to other people who snap their beloved boards. You know what? It's doable. It really is. I haven't done this before, and I got it done. I suggest not cramming. Hey, gotta do with what you gotta do. Doesn't even make any sense. It's very late. Okay, good night. All right, day 3. I'm so excited. This thing is looking good. You can tell my voice is hoarse from all of the spray painting and all of the late nights, but she is looking healthy and good. But yeah, I'm super excited. So what I'm gonna do right now is mount the GoPro on the nose, because that's the most important, and then we'll do fins and a leash and wax, and I'm just gonna mess with it for real quick, try to get it set up, because this afternoon I should be able to go surfing. Yeah, fin is in, leash is on, and now it's time for a little wax. Super excited about waxing up the board. It smells so good. If you've never waxed a surfboard, you are missing out. So I'm gonna wax it up. We're gonna go hit the water.